What's up, hockey fans and hockey fanatics out there? Welcome to episode 7 of the Hockey Lounge. I am your host, Nick, and we got a good lounge tonight. We got a lounge of 3 guests. We have Julian, Paul, and Alfie tonight. Guys, welcome to the lounge.
Thanks, Nick.
Awesome. Okay, so tonight we have a few topics, but first, I got a couple of jabroni lists that I want to talk about tonight. So, first off, Montreal Canadiens. I talked about this last week. Okay. CN Tower was lit up blue, red, and white. Fantastic. I went on my rant last week about it. Then I see on Instagram yesterday, Niagara Falls, blue, red, and white. And now everybody's talking about in the media, the Canadiens are the Canada's team. First off, this is not the NBA. Okay. Raptors only Canadian team.
And
this is not and MLB Blue Jays. That's Canadians team. Okay, that's Canada's team. Who made the Montreal Canadiens Canada's team? This is not the Euro Ballet of 2021, right? This is not the World Cup of soccer. This is not the World Cup of hockey. This is not the Olympics. This is the National Hockey League, where you like your club team, you cheer for your club team, but you don't cheer for nobody else when your team's out. Because if you do, the Hockey Lounge will send you some tape to tape your ankles. And you jump on that bandwagon? Okay? So that's first off with the Montreal Canadiens. You ain't...
Nick.
Yes.
In UEFA, do they cheer for the Italian team that goes to the UEFA Champions League?
I don't know.
This is a real question because I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I should probably ask my brother if he's watching. He should
there you go. So that's the jabroni
Not
number 1. Not a chance. Oh, so there you go, Julian. So that's my rant number 1 about the Montreal Canadiens. Again, I said it last week. If Alfie is a Flyers fan, I'm a Penguins fan. Okay, I am not going to cheer for the Philadelphia Flyers if they beat the Penguins in the playoffs. It's total nonsense. Okay, it's total nonsense. I think JT and not Jonathan Tavares should be worrying about other things than voting for the Montreal Canadiens. He should be worried about getting the boys and girls back on the ice, back on the soccer field, back on the baseball diamond, not worrying about the Montreal Canadiens. So JT, you know who I'm talking about, not John Tavares, not other JT, our JT, and everybody knows him. Paul's smiling out there. The second thing is I got to Paul, does this fucking machine work or what? Yeah. So the second thing is that okay, the second thing, and that's an inside joke with Paul.
It is a big time inside joke.
Big time inside joke. So the second thing is I was driving on Saturday, got to the stoplight, looked to the right of me and this jabroni. He's got an Italian flag and a Portugal flag. I'm saying, dude, is this for real? I know you want to show maybe your wife's Portuguese and you're Italian and everybody's got the flags out and you're having fun, right? So what happens if Italy gets knocked out? You take the flag off and you go for Portugal or vice versa?
No shot.
The jabroni's out there with, if you want to go for one team, go for one team. You ain't going to see me have a Philadelphia Flyers flag and a Pittsburgh Penguin flag on my car. You ain't going to see Julian have a Leaf flag and a Canadiens flag. You ain't going to pick one team and go for it.
I'd rather not drive.
Right, there you go. So that and my last thing tonight, guys, and I have a lot of stuff tonight. So my last thing is these soccer players. So they need 6 or 7 days in between games to chill out, to relax. And I heard this report today. Player's not going to play tomorrow because he's got a sore calf. What? What are we talking about here? Sore calf. Get your jabroni ass on the field and play, right? It takes you an hour to do your hair, right? Yeah. To get ready to go play. And then you can't go play because your calf hurts. Anyways, the Euro Ballet's on 2021. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Right? All the guys selling flags at the corner there, the Pirates, have some fun with that. Okay. But guys, welcome to the Hockey Lounge tonight. And So that's my rant. We just lost Alfie. Alfie's got to come back. He had a little network problem here. So let me just put him back in here.
You okay now, Nick? That you got it out of your system, or what? You okay?
I'm good. I'm good. But I'm still rattled because this fucking machine doesn't work. But
Hey, you think your Tums and Pepto Bismol before this
Yes.
one, or what?
I took my ginger chews too because my stomach was a little bit upset. Right? Seeing the Montreal Canadiens in the Final Four with 59 points.
Yeah,
okay?
that will happen
Right?
if they win 8 in a row tonight. I'm gonna have Pepto Bismol on like inner penis. For Christ's sake.
All right, boys. So superstars are out of the playoffs.
Perfect.
Okay? Started with Ovechkin, then it went to Crosby, then it went to McDavid, and now we see McKinnon out of the playoffs. So my question to you guys tonight, and to open the lounge is this good for the NHL? Julian.
Yeah, no. The answer is no. It's not good for the NHL. Does the NHL have control over it? Not really. I mean, it's it really is unfortunate that they're out. I mean, especially guys like McDavid or Matthews or Crosby. I mean, Crosby and Ovechkin, everybody's seen play and go far, so it's not like something we haven't seen before. But for guys like McDavid or Matthews or even McKinnon to like not win anything up to this point, it's tough. It's not good for the league, and I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah, I agree totally. I think it's just, to me, it's troublesome when you see the superstars get knocked out early, because for myself and I know probably a lot of young hockey players out there, they want to see the big guns. They want to see the elite perform, and we'll get into some of the reasons why. But Paul, what is your take on these guys out so fast?
It's 100% not good for the growth of the game, without question, entertainment value and all that kind of stuff, which should probably be the prevailing theme or concern, because ultimately it's a business at the end of the day, right? However, for a pure hockey purist, it is 100% a beautiful thing. And the teams that are left, for the most part, play the game the way the game's meant to be played. And it's far more difficult to commit to doing the little things that these 4 teams have done than it is to be a world-class skill beater and beat the world with natural skill. And I just think it's a testament to commitment to team and doing whatever it takes to win. And I think that's ultimately what any team sport is about. It's not a superstar-driven league as much as the NBA is, right? NBAs can really rely on superstars. So the team component here is really, really critical. And I think that's the beauty of the game, which is why I'm such an anti-Hockey Canada guy at the minor hockey level, because we all celebrate the bullshit, and it's the bullshit that only gets you so far, and it's the important stuff that gets you to where these guys are, man. And they kind of all play the same way, man. You know what I mean? So there's my rant, and I'll carry this on forever. But it's a beautiful thing in so many ways, man. As a hockey purist, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
It's a lot harder to block a shot, win a face-off, and back check to the post as a forward than it is to score a goal in the slot untouched. Let me tell you.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's exactly what Alfie and I have coached together, the last couple of years or whatnot, and we definitely think the same way. It's forecheck, back check, pay check at the end of the day.
100%.
So, Alf, your take.
Yeah, so with what Paul has said and Julian both, having superstars not playing right now is, I mean, superstar players. Let's get one thing straight, right? We're talking about superstar players because the players aren't in, but the superstar goalies are in. Okay, in 3 of the series I mentioned to you guys before we came on, 3 of the goalies are top goalies. You're talking Vasilevsky, Price.
That's true.
Varlamov was probably not the best. He's not a superstar, but he's a good goalie. That being said, I agree 100% with Paul. The playoffs now, It's the top 4 teams, right? Like the top 4 teams. That's what the league is about. The league is about teamwork. It's not about individuals. As much as they like to maybe be like the NBA or whatever to individualize the game, these superstars, would we like to see them? 100%. Would we like to see McKinnon go on with that phenomenal team? Yeah, but who's playing defense for him, right? Who's blocking the shots for him? That's why he's not in. It's not because of the superstars that they're not in. It's the team.
Yeah. So my thing would be this, guys, is, you know, you look at the NBA, and Paul made a good point there, right, about the NBA. You know, one of the biggest things is, I know that, you know, the NHL wants parity in their league, and they want to see that balance. They want to see the upsets. They want to see, you know, that underdog come through, right? But to sell the game properly, right, you need the big guns. You need nobody's watching the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Islanders at 3 p.m. on a Sunday, unless you're a Tampa Bay Lightning.
Excited, yeah,
and getting excited.
Watching those 3 forwards back check like animals. I'm the only guy probably in Ontario that's like, look at these guys. This is unbelievable.
I love it too. I turned on the tube at 3 p.m. and I watched the game.
100%. It was a thing of beauty.
I did that because, but what I'm saying is that if you want to sell the sport, and you want to sell the jerseys, you want to make that money, you want to get that big TV deal, right? And you want to be worldwide, and you want to compete with the NFL, which never will happen, the NBA, MLB, you need these guys in the playoffs. Yeah. Okay? You need these guys going to the Final Four, because there ain't nobody walking the streets tonight with a Josh Bailey jersey, right? Okay? No, a good player, but that ain't going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So
there's nobody excited to watch Josh Anderson play tonight, okay?
Wow.
Instead of Austin Matthews or Nathan McKinnon or one of those guys, okay?
Right.
You're never going to get that in the salary cap era, though, right? Like,
you're going to get
that. It's part of Bettman's strategy to bring hockey to markets, right? That we're never.
Which is why 2 fourth-place teams are in the conference final, right? Like that's
a great point.
Like 100%, 2 fourth-place teams are in the conference final, right?
Yeah.
And a third-place team in Tampa.
But you also look at, you know, I put together the Atlantic Division, the Metropolitan Division, the Eastern Conference Division or Conference. If the playoffs were to happen pre-pandemic, okay, Canadians are not even in the playoffs.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Last year, Canadians are not in the playoffs. Now, listen, you know what? I'm not a Leaf fan. I'm not pissed that they beat the Leafs, but at the end of the day, I don't want to see Brandon Gallagher and Philip Deneau in the Final Four. I just don't want to see that.
But that I agree, Nick. But you know what? Like Paul, playoff hockey is playoff hockey, right? And that's what differentiates these superstars that play on these teams. They don't play on teams that are playoff hockey teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to get new fans, like you said, Nick, in the States or wherever, to bring new fans in, playoff hockey is not for bringing fans in my opinion. Regular season hockey, bring all the fans you want. You got guys going around, goes between the legs, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Spinorama, right?
So you made a good point there, Alf. So let me present this question to the lounge tonight. So we have a former linesman, okay, and he told me on the second episode, we don't ref against you, we ref you, right?
Yeah.
Come on,
we don't ref against anybody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
So that's a bunch of BS, and you know that. So anyways. Getting back to this. So, you know why I think you go back to the regular season, you go to the playoffs. So let me ask you guys: the Stars get the wheel and deal in the regular season. All of a sudden, we're probably the only league in the world that the rules change once the playoffs start. Maybe the NBA lets a little bit more go. Okay, NFL's basically the same. MLB, you really can't change that. Maybe the strike zone, whatever, right? So what do you guys think? Do you think that? I think the referees have a lot to do with why the superstars cannot, number one, perform like they do in the regular season, And number two is their teams are not successful because there's more, your abilities to play skilled hockey in the regular season are taken away from you once playoff time comes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Julian.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, sorry. I would.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned this to you. You know, even in the Ontario Hockey League level, the intensity is like preseason, then the first third of the season, then after Christmas, the intensity level is completely different, and then the playoffs, it's like a whole other level.
Mhm.
The refereeing changes 100%,
Mm-hmm.
but that intensity also is like off the charts. And I was thinking about this today because I knew you were going to ask this question. All the major sports in North America that have a long regular season, the playoffs are completely different in every single sport. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, the intensity and the teams that used to put up 110 a night are only putting up 95. The NFL is a short season, so every game is like magnified, and they play, you know, balls to the wall every single week.
Mhm.
MLB, the games go from 2.5 hours to 4 hours because you make pitching changes on every single pitcher, and you change 100 pictures. It's a completely different game. Okay, pinch runners, pinch hitters, all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And hockey, the intensity, like guys are willing to run through the wall, so it's 100% a completely different game. And
But my question then is, how do you call, like, the rule books specifies cross-checking, hooking, tripping.
so they should call it though.
Yeah.
But they should call it.
This is what I'm telling you though. So
They should call it.
how does the league allow the rule book to get thrown out the window, and then these guys are playing, and this
Because
is
of the
why,
culture, Nick. Because of the culture.
I get it. It's dinosaur
Right.
culture.
You gotta put. Let the guys settle the game. Let the guys settle. Bullshit. Just call the penalties, man. Just call the penalties. So my point is, it's 50% intensity of the players, and it's 50% the way the game's called. That's my position on the question.
But even in like double overtime, game 7, you still got to make those calls. You're saying, like, just
You have,
the
but
little ones.
But you lose. The game loses
Yeah.
integrity. You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying. I'm on your side. I'm just saying, like,
okay, but
It's-
if you make those calls and it's somewhat
Yeah.
like it's somewhat of a 50-50 call, as a referee, you get skewered. Okay.
yeah,
Because there's the code, man. You got to let the guy put the whistle away, let the guys rock, rock them, sock them, and all this other kind of crap. You know what I mean? And like, if you want the stars in the game, let them play because it's
what
tough enough.
about coach challenges for penalties? What do you think about that?
I don't have a comment on that. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's
Yeah.
tons of calls that are like, what about Leaf game when Stahl took down Dermott? I think was it game 7, and then Hap scored on that power play to go up. Was it 2-0?
Yeah,
And it's like
the issue.
missed calls
Yeah, but-
or yeah.
No, the issue with that is they missed one in the first period that they didn't call. That was 10 times worse. That's the issue.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
you think of if he wants to challenge that Jeff Petrie elbow to Galcheny's hick that didn't even get a penalty or even a review by the league. I mean, that changes that whole series. I'm not a Leaf fan, by the way.
Yeah.
Flyers fan.
But I think Alfie,
Yeah.
anything that gets it right, anything that can maybe get it more right than wrong, I think is good.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I think like the whole purpose of it to officiate is to get it right, whether it's balls and strikes, whether it's pass interference, like the New Orleans Saints got ripped off when they lost that.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And the same and the same in hockey. It's there to make sure that we get it as right as possible. Okay. And these guys can screw up. It's not easy because they're going 150 miles per hour, but inherently there's an issue with the code. Right? There's an
Yeah.
issue with the code. And one of the guys got fired that's been in the league for 30 years because of the comment that he made. I needed that penalty. I needed that penalty. And that's 100% a thing.
Yeah.
It's
And that was-
100% a thing.
And that's nothing compared to things that they've missed, right?
But I can tell you this. Nathan McKinnon, Mitch Marner, and all those guys in the playoffs are going to make more money for all those owners than worrying about the goddamn code that is 60 years old, that watches guys elbow
Right,
guys
right,
and run around like a
right.
bunch of it. Like Mark Scheifele should be suspended for 20 games, man. Okay, and that's not popular. And there's Facebook arguments about it. The intent of body contact in hockey is to eliminate player from puck. It is not to decapitate the guy. If he was so worried about the playoffs, he should have dove head first to stop the goddamn puck from going into the goddamn net. Okay? Instead, he knew he could have completely decapitated the kid and took advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, man.
My thing is too with the refereeing in the playoffs is, you look at guys like, again, I'll go back to, a Matthews or a Marner, these superstars, they're taking cross checks to the ribs. They're taking stuff that the referees are actually seeing happen. But in game 20, that stuff's getting called. In round 1, it's not. And for me, the issue is this. The issue is this, is that for superstars to perform, they got to be able to perform. But they're not able to because of the dinosaur mentality. And this is why today the Islanders, and Trotzy's a good coach. You look at the coaches right now, you look at Trotz, you look at Cooper, look at DeBoer, you look at Deschamps there. He's a rookie coach, but he changed the culture, whatever you want to say, in Montreal. Okay. It also comes down to goaltending, like you said, Alfie, but coaching, guys. What do you think about the coaching here? Because if you look at those superstar teams, what do you think's been their downfall for not getting over that hump and letting the superstar down? So I have my reason for it. Alfie, what are your thoughts with that?
Well, it's interesting you brought that up because I was actually listening and reading something earlier. I think it was today, maybe yesterday, and it never really caught my attention. But all the 4 coaches that are left, none of them are former players.
Mm.
Okay?
Interesting.
I was like, wow, that's a great point. So I started to look into it, and their backgrounds. Like Cooper was a lawyer. They're talking about coaches that didn't play the game. They're not coaching the game. They're managing their talent. They're managing what they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is such a great point that all these 4 coaches that are left, even Ducharme, who's has the interim tag, I'm sure he's going to be the coach going forward. DeBoer was saying, yeah.
What's that?
How can't he be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Especially in Montreal, he speaks French, so he's
right.
Perfect.
But DeBoer even said, this guy paid his dues. He was in the juniors. He played. He didn't play. Coached in the Q, coached in the A. He made every step by step. All these coaches did, right? There's not one coach. And I thought to myself, is this is probably a great point. Is a guy like, say, Sheldon Keefe or they're former players. They're coaching the game, right? And I think coaching the players is more important. Because I think when you get to that level, I don't think you really need to coach the game. Do you know what I'm saying? You need to coach and manage your players, their personalities. Make sure, you got the boy. He's got Fleury and he's got Fleury and Leonard. Fleury's phenomenal. Came from a great organization, Nick, by the way. Right? But from a winning culture, right?
You're back on next week.
No, but the culture he came from, Fleury, was their winning culture, right? Everything Pittsburgh does is win, win, win. They don't think about rebuild, right? And that mentality is he's got the goalie, but DeBoer's got to manage those goalies. Could he call on Leonard in a heartbeat if Fleury has a shit game? 100%. Is Leonard the best goalie? Probably not, but he's still solid. But he manages. He's not sulking on the bench. Oh, how come this guy's playing and not me, right? Because it's a team. I find all these teams are all teams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the coach's job, right? Get the most out of your players, right? And if you're not doing that, you're not doing your job, right? Look at the Leafs and Keefe. A lot of people question his coaching styles, and you have some of the best talent on paper in the league, and you couldn't get the best out of them. I question what's, what they do.
Because at the end of the day, you're managing people, Julian.
That's it.
No differently than we do in the normal workplace. You have to manage people. So, Alfie, I didn't know that because I never played at a super high level, so I feel like I never get any respect as a coach, right? And I think we did a half decent job as coaches, and I'm like, well, nobody's ever going to give me respect because I never played. And I tell my brother-in-law this, who's a former.
You should have seen him in men's league.
Okay, a former professional hockey. And it's funny because one of his buddies told him, the guys love John Cooper because for John Cooper, you'll go to war without a weapon for the guy. You won't even think about it. He is the easiest guy to play for. And that's feedback directly from one of his former teammates that went to Michigan with him. Like he's just, you love the guy, and all you want to do. And I think Tortorella has a little bit of that in him as well, based on some feedback that you hear from former players and stuff. But I think ultimately you're 100% right. It's about managing people. You know what I mean?
Also, too, though, if you look at the final four coaches, guys, you look at the first round exits of, let's say, a Washington, a Pittsburgh. Then you see, the Colorado Avalanche have a 2-0 lead on the Vegas Knights. They blow that. You also see the Sheldon Keefe, debacle there, being up 3-1. So look at these four coaches, guys. All these four coaches have made in-game adjustments. Okay, huge. So you look at it. We'll start off with Deschamps. Okay, he was down 3-1. He made tons of adjustments in and out of the lineup, bringing guys in. Stifling the neutral zone. Guys blocking shots, like Paul says, going to the wall. Okay,
collapse in the defensive zone, man. They would collapse,
protect the net, all that stuff, right? You look at a guy like Barry Trotz. Okay, he knew exactly how to beat Pittsburgh, right? Play a hard, physical, heavy game. First the puck, two guys on the forecheck. Okay, then you look at DeBoer, and I'm not like DeBoer is a great coach. A lot of success in the regular season, playoff success as well, taking Jersey to the finals, taking San Jose to the finals, losing those cup finals. But every team that he goes to, those teams usually do well in the regular season, make the playoffs. He noticed that McKinnon was flying through that neutral zone in game 1, game 2. What did he do? He stepped it back. He went to a 1-2-2 forecheck. He clogged up that neutral zone. There was no space for McKinnon. Okay. Then you look at John Cooper, like Paul said, Carolina,
Vasilevsky played well, though.
Vasilevsky played well, but at the end of the day, they found seams on their power play. If you notice, they found ways to get Cooch the puck, cross passes, one-timers. It's adjustments. If you look at all the teams with these superstars, none of their coaches made adjustments. They got out-coached, to be honest with you. So
I agree with that.
I totally agree.
You're 100% right. And it would be interesting. It's very interesting because it'd be very interesting to see why Sheldon Keefe, for example, was so stubborn to just run those same dudes out there time after. And it's not that he ran them, like, there's nothing wrong with playing those guys 25 minutes a night, but you got to mix it up a little bit. And because what he did is he alienated the rest of the team. And those guys were like, you're playing these dudes 25 minutes a night, we're losing. You got to give us a go. And then when you tap on them, and they've only played 10 minutes,
they're like, fuck this.
Like, you're riding these guys, and you're nonstop. But it's interesting to find out if he did it because he didn't know how to manage those people. Right. You know what I mean, Nick?
Manage the superstars. Superstars minutes. Right?
Because it's a real thing as a coach, eh? It's a real thing. Like, it's almost better to have like 6 shoemakers as your defenseman because you're not going to offend anybody. Whereas
you're exactly saying what the Islanders are, right?
Yeah.
They have Matt Barzal and they have a bunch of really good players.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about offending any of them or having their agents, come down, or the GM that just signed these guys to like $8 million deals. It's like, I got 6 dudes. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. Let's go, boys. Get after it. And I think that's the element. That's the beauty of the game too, in a lot of ways, right? But I'd really love to be inside like Sheldon Keefe's head or some of these other coaches, like Mike Sullivan. Same shit he did, man, in Pittsburgh. The same shit over and over. Like, how many times can you do it before you realize it's not working, man?
Right. So let me bring this up to you guys then, in terms of are we going down the road where, let's say, a McKinnon, you saw his press conference after he lost, right? He says I've been in the league for 9 years.
Those questions, though.
Oh, that was a beauty question. I love that. Like, that was like, I'm like, man, is that one guy from the hockey lounge? He got through the but he goes, I've been playing for 9 years and I haven't won shit. So my question to you guys is, will we see this league go down, because it is a salary cap league? Will it go down more as, let's say, like a Crosby, McKinnon, they're buddies, they work out in the offseason? Will it start to be, okay, we can't get as many superstars as we can to try to win? Because, I think what we're seeing here the last couple of years is that these teams that are the underdogs and the balls to the walls teams, they're getting through. Or are we going to see this? Are we going to see teams go one superstar and then build around just the one superstar instead of seeing a McDavid, Draisaitl, a Matthews, Marner, right? A McKinnon, Redmond.
Well, let me ask you this: like, how many teams didn't budget for the salary cap staying at where it is for the next few years? Like, how many teams did that screw? I mean, we keep talking about the Leafs because it's close to home here, but like, how much did that screw them? Right? They were banking on salary cap going up over the next few years, so 4 more guys. Now they're fucked. It's like, of course you're going to say, yeah, we're going to win it with these 4, because it's like, otherwise, what else are you going to do? You could trade guys like Marner, but like, a lot of teams are screwed now.
You'll never win that deal though, trading Marner.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's
saying
what
that
people have to resort to, right?
You have no choice. Yeah, this salary cap era is very hard on players. And Nick, that's a good point. Maybe but the problem is these players, they might not be, like look at Willie Nylander's contract. See, a couple years ago when he signed, everyone was like, "Oh, Willie Nylander, he just robbed them." You look at his contract now, he's like, "It's not that bad, right? It's not that bad."
So it's like 50-50 with all those deals that are signed,
Right.
Maybe it's time to start valuing some of the little things that are more important. How's that for an answer? Instead of just getting completely horned up all the time on skill and all this other horse shit. Maybe it's time to like start recognizing, the guys that are the so-called shoemakers and they dig the ditches. Maybe those are the guys that take you to the promised land.
But this is what I'm saying, Paul.
Because major junior coaches will tell you, it's not your top 6 that gets you to the land of milk and honey.
Of course not.
It's your bottom 6. Those guys need to eat minutes for you. They need to eat time and play 0-0 all the way through in order for your top guys to get you over the top. But you need those bottom 6 guys to eat considerable minutes, because this is like it's the war of attrition, man. These guys are playing every other night, man. And you need those bottom 6 guys to eat major minutes. And that's why playing guys 25 minutes a night, every other night is not good. No, doesn't matter what kind of condition you're in, you can't do it.
But plus, too, you look at this, guys, is that those guys are playing 25-plus minutes in the playoffs. They're already playing those 20-plus minutes in the regular season, right? That's a lot of minutes. And let me get back to, again, in 2016, Pitt won the Cup. 2017, Pitt won the Cup on speed and talent. Okay, speed and talent. That's how they won. Sully came in, speed and talent. Then the year after, 2017, the Caps won the Cup, but they went with more of a speed-heavy game. And the reason why they won the Cup is they had those bottom 6 forwards play minutes and contribute.
Yeah, man.
Then you look at the following year later, St. Louis wins the Cup. And they come in with a heavy team with 4-line scoring. Tyler Bozak, all these guys grinding away. You look at last year's Tampa Bay team, the additions of Blake Coleman, Gaudreau, all these other elements that they brought, Patrick Maroon.
Yeah.
Steven Stamkos played 1 shift or like 5 minutes in a game.
And he scored.
Right? And scored, yeah. But at the end of the day, we're seeing a turnaround in the NHL where, like Paul's been saying and Julian here, that the bottom 6 is basically your bread and butter to go far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're seeing this right now live, right?
Yeah. 100%. I think the bottom 6 is very important. Like, I was a big fan of Kyle Dubas this year. I'm not a Leaf fan. I'll say it again. Okay.
Yeah.
but Kyle Dubas was provide Keefe with, what I thought was all the tools he needed to be successful in these playoffs this year. Brought in Simmons. Thornton, whatever, right? I mean, he had his purpose. I wouldn't have played him on the top line, but a guy like Simmons, come playoff time, he should be playing 20, 22 minutes a game, right? Playing with Marner and Matthews, or it's unfortunate JT got hurt this year, right? That changes a lot of things, right? But I thought Dubas, what he did was what the NHL is going towards, following that model from Tampa Bay, bringing in that toughness. You have the skill. They don't have Vasilevsky. Freddie Anderson has never proved to me that he was any type of Vasilevsky, but they brought in Jack Campbell, who, love him or not, he did his job. He did his thing, right? He's not a superstar.
I mean,
right.
Look, here's my theory on Campbell. amazing. Like clearly, he has the best stats in the entire playoffs right now. If you go look at NHL.com, but the thing is, he didn't make the saves when he needed to. Just like players play in the regular season and they don't come to play in playoffs time. I know it's not an exact comparison, but if you're a great goalie, you got to make the saves when they count. In Game 7, you can't let in goals like that. You can't.
Fair enough, Julian. But I'll tell you to take those stats and shove them up your ass. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Because the Maple Leafs. Okay. The Maple Leafs did not make the playoffs because they were beating teams 2-1 and 1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack Campbell had a .940 save percentage. He let in some soft goals, but for Christ's sake, they were scoring 4 goals a game. They scored 1 goal a game in the playoffs for the most part.
Yeah.
And,
Well, trust me, I know.
and I know the point that you're making. But Jack Campbell, .940 save percentage. The Leafs should be moving on to any round with a .940 save percentage in net. End of story, full stop. I don't give a shit if you put Grant here at 60 years old in the net, okay? And that's my point.
Boy,
Sorry. I'm a little sensitive towards Jack Campbell because I think he's good. And he's the last guy to be played.
Okay. So we know Santi has a Jack Campbell jersey at home somewhere.
No, I don't.
Jesus,
I don't.
man, he's like the guys that I had last week on what happened to the Leafs. I'm not going to say who they are, but they're like, yeah, Jack Campbell can be the starting goalie next year. Are you freaking kidding me? You're going to start. Listen, man, you want to make the playoffs or not? Right?
Why not?
You're seeing him in a sample size. Can he play? Can he play 40 plus games? Can he play 40? And we're talking about the regular division, not the Sports Village A division. Okay.
They lost to the North Division. They should have won the North Division. They didn't lose because of Jack Campbell.
Yeah. Hey, Santi, do you remember that when we were playing in? You were on the team in York, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What that guy said to you in the corner, didn't he say that to you? The guy from the Red Wings?
I can't remember.
When he said, I'll go back to the jail. Didn't he say that to you?
I can't remember. That's why I stopped playing beer league.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean?
Times, yeah, great times. Yeah. So
sorry, I get sensitive, Julian.
Yeah, he's
about Jack Campbell.
It's I point taken.
I just think it's the wrong thing to point out about the Leafs, man.
I'm just saying it's I honestly, I was talking to my friends too. Like, as much as like a lot of things went wrong with the Leafs, like I personally feel like the team is cursed. Like what else could it be, right? They got the right team. Everyone thought, Keefe was the guy. Why all these things happened the way they did. Tavares going out in Game 1. It's just like they're fucking cursed. Excuse my expression, but like,
no, but that's okay. But like, Stamkos was injured and Tampa won the cup. So like this whole narrative that like the Leafs lost Tavares, it's horseshit.
Yeah.
Other teams have lost superstars and won, man. So like
Game 5 without Tavares, they win that game. Come on, doesn't like anybody's got to win that.
Okay, but last year when did Stamkos join them for the playoffs?
Oh yeah.
No, you're right.
I'm not being a jerk. I'm just saying, like, a hockey coach told me that. Okay, Jonathan Tavares is out.
No, I agree. I think with Tavares out, they should still win that game.
Oh, they should still win that series. They should beat Winnipeg too, right? But enough of the Leafs. So the Leafs are gone.
Have to come back to them, though.
The Leafs are gone. The Penguins are out. The Flyers never made the playoffs. We're all a happy bunch here. So just a question here for you guys. So we got tonight. We have the Vegas Knights and we have the Montreal Canadiens. So let's talk about the Final Four. You saw the Islanders yesterday again go at it. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. So your thoughts, guys, on these two series? Who's going to come out of them? What are you looking for in tonight's game? What did you see from yesterday's performance? Julian, I don't know if you got a chance to, again, 3 p.m., not a lot of people are excited on patios, drinking beers, having all that fun. Not sure if you saw any of the highlights or you watched the game, but what are your thoughts on that series?
The Islanders, Tampa? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are jumping the gun here and picking Tampa. I don't think the Islanders are a team you can just pass up on. I mean, if you look at who had the lowest goals against average, we lost Alfie again. No, that is bad.
Yeah, he's back.
If you look at First off, it's going to be a low-scoring game across the board, Tampa. I think you're going to see a lot of 2-1 games or 3-2 games max, especially with the goalies they have and the tight checking that the Islanders play. The Islanders had the second lowest goals against average in the league. They had 125 goals scored against them. And Vegas was actually the number one at 122 goals scored against them throughout the whole season. And just with the style that they play, it's honestly it's a toss-up, that game. But like if I had to bet, I feel like the Islanders have some unfinished business from previous seasons. Maybe Tampa gets a little complacent winning the cup last year. I don't know. I feel like the Islanders might have the edge. Just saying.
Alfie?
Sorry, I dropped out of the call there for a sec. So you're talking about the Islanders series,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're talking about Tampa and New York, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, watching that game yesterday. I mean, Islanders. I mean, Paul probably was in heaven yesterday watching that game, right? Like, that's pure playoff hockey, Santi style. I would call it now.
You guys see that comment from Belzy?
but yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Julian. I like the Islanders' chances. I'm in a huge hockey pool, and I drafted Matt Barzal when he was still with the Giants, and I just love the guy, the way he plays the game. He's bought into Trotz. He's their superstar, right? He's not Matthews or McKinnon, but he's like that one step below those guys, right? Like he's on the verge. Hey, winning a cup, he's a superstar, right?
Yeah.
I like that team. I like the coach. I think Lou Lamoriello did, a lot of good things to bring the guys that he needed to bring in. I like that team. I want the Islanders to beat Tampa. I think they got a lot of fans. They deserve it. I do.
Wow.
I do. Yeah. I want them to beat Tampa. I don't want them to win the cup. I want them to beat Tampa.
Listen, I do like the environment in Long Island. I think the fans are actually insane and wild. I think it's a great barn to play in. It's an old barn. Those fans are absolutely ludicrous. They're nuts, man. But when you look at the two different teams, they play two different styles. You look at Tampa, more of a run and gun, and you saw the forecheck and the nonstop feet moving of the Islanders consistently, bang, bang. Every time they can make a hit, they make a hit. They always have five guys back. They collapse down low as well, Paul. Yeah. Okay, just like, listen, Varlamov, he's a sieve. Honest to God, he's not a good goalie. He's $10 million of. He goes down. There's room up top there like crazy. So they have to collapse in front of him. I don't think he's a great goaltender out of the teams that are remaining, but I do think Trotz's style is the best style out there. Right?
Well, he's got the guys committed. His first line guys played like third line guys in the defensive zone.
Right. Yeah.
That's and I think for me, Vasilevsky has been like out of this world in the playoffs. First of all, I think he's by far been the best goaltender, even better than Price, because that Carolina series, man, they got shelled like a couple of games they had no business winning. The issue with Tampa is they're too reliant on their peeper, man, and then they can only really score on their peeper. If you watch the game yesterday, I thought they were going to tie it up when they pulled the goaltender, and then they got the power play, and the puck never came out of New York zone. I said, and it was 6-on-4. They scored the goal to make it a 1-goal game. I thought they were going to tie it up 6-on-5. If New York can commit to neutralizing that power play, I think Tampa Bay is going to have a very difficult time scoring 5-on-5 because they have their power play is dominant. So if they don't score on the peeper, and I think you can really neutralize them. But then you have to get past Vasilevsky. So I liked Tampa coming into the series, but I love the Islanders because it's the way the game's meant to be played, man. Right? And Vegas plays that way too, to a certain extent. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts, man. I think it's like a really intriguing series. So as a hockey purist, it's like pure. It's beautiful to watch, man.
I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see that series go 7.
I think it is going to go 7.
Yeah,
it's
definitely going to be a battle for sure. So, Julian, Islanders or Tampa? Who's coming out of that?
I'm going to say the Islanders.
Okay, Islanders. Oh,
this is I want to say Islanders, but like Paul said, I think Vasilevsky is the difference maker, and I'll say Tampa will come out.
All right.
I'm going to say Tampa just because I took him at the start, and
Yeah.
I lost money on him again yesterday, but that's okay. I've lost money on Montreal 7 straight
Yeah.
games. They better not lose tonight, or they
Yes.
better not win tonight.
Who's ever listening to P. Santi's tips on the Fan 590 at 4:00? You better turn it to 10:50, okay? Because those tips are not happening right now. I'm picking Tampa because I just think that I just think that Vasilevsky's going to be, like you guys are saying, he's going to be the gamer, and I think you have some more scoring power on Tampa Bay's end. Go ahead.
But what about Victor Hedman? Has got to be the best defenseman in the National Hockey League. No.
Yeah. So, but did you hear the stat yesterday though, guys? The Tampa Bay you're right on that. Love Hedman. The Tampa Bay Lightning defensemen don't have one goal in these playoffs. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, but the guy's on the ice, Nick, all the time, man.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Just like he's never off.
And every exit pass is tape to tape, always makes the right decision. Never screws up, never turns the puck over. The guy is like out of this world to watch, and nobody talks about him. We talk about Stammer, Kucherov, Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Hedman's like the best defenseman in the National Hockey League, man.
Because you know what it is, Paul? This is what my take on Victor Hedman, my take on him is, and this is what I always tell my defensemen when I coach them, is that if I don't notice you, you did a good job. And if you really
100%.
watch really watch Victor Hedman, you really don't really notice him too much. He's not like one of those guys like Cale Makar that's rushed. He rushes the puck, but everything is effortless with Hedman, right? So when you watch him, because he's a big rig, he looks slower, but he's flying out there.
Yeah.
He gets shots on net. He's very much, I like to call him a big man's Nicholas Lindstrom. That's what this guy is.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Pietrangelo
He's
almost,
pure,
yeah.
man.
Just
He is
pure,
like so
yeah,
pure, man.
Right.
Hands
Right.
And
down
nobody
Norris
talks about
winner.
him,
Yeah,
right?
hands
Alfie,
down
nobody
Norris.
talks about him. Nobody talks about him because it's not
Never.
sexy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not
exactly.
sexy.
That's the
Mhm.
that's
Okay?
where right.
It's not.
100%.
No style points.
Yeah.
Victor Hedman, the Maple Leafs should give up everything for Victor.
Well, hey, listen, they if you guys have been watching Vegas, like Peter Angelo's playing like a stud too, man. This
Yeah.
playoff.
Yeah, he
Not
is.
this world, buddy.
Unreal.
You-
Ridiculous.
Unreal.
You
And
don't have to sell me on Alex Peter.
Yeah.
Angelo.
Who was it that one of the players, was it Pacioretty that says like, or was it Stone who's like, yeah, now I know why we paid so much to get him or something like that in,
Right.
in an interview.
right. So Leaf Nation out there,
Uh,
Peter Angelo or
could've got
Tavares, Dubas, you could have saved that money because he was coming up. Right.
Yeah, but that's a really good point. Like, just put Victor Hedman on the New York Islanders. He probably fits within the cap because they don't pay anybody exorbitant amount of money, and find out how good the New York Islanders are
Right.
with Victor Hedman back there instead of those 6 guys nobody even knows their last names.
Exactly. But again, you went back to Lou Lamoriello. Like this guy is, and we talked about him last week on the Monday night. Like he puts a culture and an atmosphere and a discipline in teams that they just thrive on. The guy's a master at creating, like Paul he likes to say, like balls to the wall type teams. That's what he puts together, right? You look at what he did in New Jersey. It was defense first. He got Brodeur, then he started building. He did the same thing and what you'll notice with these guys, these GMs guys, is they go back to the well. They go get the guys that play for them, right? That's who they go after.
The guys they liked.
The guys they liked and the guys that went like to war for them, basically,
100%.
right? So, okay, so we got Tampa, all 3 of us, and who picked New York? Julian, okay, he's going off the wall here, so he's going Islanders. Okay?
My heart
I'll have an
was
upset.
with
Why
Julian.
not?
Yeah.
I just
says, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the Islanders addressed one of their biggest thing this year, which was scoring, right? And their team that can score now when it counts, right? I just feel like that was the missing piece that they needed. Sure, okay, maybe Varlamov or Vasilevsky will steal the show, but
Yeah,
who knows?
I
don't know.
agree. Like I agree with you. I think the Islanders. It's going to be a 6 or 7 series. I think it's going to be a grind. So it'll be interesting to see who wins Game 2, because if the Isles win Game 2, the pressure's on Tampa Bay.
I want to be on Julian's side, Julian. But like I said, no, honestly, because I like the team. I like the culture. I just think Vasilevsky's the difference in Game 7.
Could be right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. So we have the game tonight starting in about 15 minutes in Vegas. We talked about the underdog Montreal Canadiens, Canada's team. No, they're not. Against so Habs in Vegas tonight. What are your thoughts here? You got a couple interesting storylines, I guess, if you want to call them, because it ain't the Stars, but you have Pacioretty playing against his old team that, Nick Suzuki was in that trade. Okay, so you have a young player going against a vet. You have Marc-Andre Fleury playing against the Montreal Canadiens for the second time in his career in the playoffs. He lost to the Canadiens with the Penguins in 2010.
You
So
think
there's
he
a
gives
couple.
a shit about that? You think he really gives a shit that he lost
does.
the 2010 to Montreal
He-
Canadiens?
Of course he does.
Please.
Of course he does.
How many cups has he won since then?
He lost to
this?
Yaroslav Halak.
Yeah, they put
Right?
those in the Montreal Gazette so they can sell papers. It's bullshit.
Hey, shove that up your ass, Montreal.
Yeah.
Because that's from Santi
Seriously,
too,
who
okay?
gives it? The guy's a pro hockey player. You think he gives it? You think he even remembers he lost to them in 2010 with
Listen.
Pittsburgh after he's won 2 cups?
Alfie's remembering the last All-Ontario Ball Hockey Championship he lost. These guys care, okay?
Yeah, please. That's bullshit, man. Guys. Same with like Canada's team. The reason why I say Canada's team is so Sportsnet can get 5 million viewers a night. That's
There
the
you
reason
go.
why.
100%.
Meanwhile, majority of Canadians would disagree with them, probably. Right.
And you know what? I just want to say a shout out to Bowsy. I'm surprised he's even watching the hockey launch tonight because I thought he'd have popcorn watching The Bachelorette, all nestled with his wife there watching The Bachelorette. But so Vegas Habs, your thoughts, guys, on that series, Alfie?
Wow. I have a lot of friends, not a lot, but quite a few friends who are Habs fans. And you know what? I'm
They're not
happy
going to
for
like
them.
us tonight.
Who doesn't?
No, I'm happy for them, but I think this is where their ride ends. I just think Vegas. I mean, come on, sure, the Habs have Price, great goalie, well-coached team. Montreal, They didn't get here by fluke. They beat 2 good teams. They're from the north, but
Yeah.
Vegas is. Vegas is just too tough for me. I say Vegas in 5, man.
Wow. It's a bold one.
That crowd tonight in Vegas is not going to be very kind to those. Watching that Colorado game, the Colorado Vegas series, that crowd turned that series around.
For sure. Yeah.
Hey, they were up 2-0, Colorado.
It's definitely a big boost when you're playing in a full barn. I'm not sure what Montreal's capacity is going to be like. I think they're still at 2,500, right?
Mhm.
We got Tipu's in the lounge. He's saying Vegas in 5, but he's watching the Vegas game with his Leaf jersey on, so I'm not sure if he knows what teams are playing tonight. But Santi, so we got Alfie Vegas in 5. We got Teeps Vegas in 5. Pro line bettors and Vegas tips. Here it comes. He's going to give you the.
Actually, I'll pull up the line right now.
There we go.
Yeah,
Here
the
we
line
go.
was earlier. The line was minus 250 for Vegas tonight.
He's wiring.
It's way too expensive.
He's
Minus
wiring
1.5.
money to Little Caesars right now.
Minus 1.5 though. Minus 1.5. Plus 110. Vegas, good pick. Listen, Montreal can't win 8 games in a row. I'm telling you right now, they can't. It's like even if you do finite mathematics probability, okay, the likelihood is so small that they win 8 games in a row.
I don't even think you can apply math to this anymore.
Okay, and enough with Montreal already. Like they're garbage. They should be here, and I hope Vegas throttles them, which they should. But I said that about Vancouver. I said that about Winnipeg, and I said that about Toronto. So they proved me wrong. Carey Price again, guys, can steal a series. We've seen it. History has shown us that goaltenders can take you all the way to the cup. They may be able to do that again.
Hey, Belzy, Celine Dion in 5.
Yeah.
So Belzy says Celine Dion in 5.
But no, Vegas should just throttle them, man. Like
Tipu's giving the hockey lounge the finger tonight. He's upset.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. Next year. So what are you saying, Paul? What are you saying?
Like,
Vegas?
Vegas in 5 games.
Vegas in 5 games. All right. So take that to the bank.
Especially since they beat Colorado, and I thought Colorado was completely untouchable.
Make sure you send that to the pager tonight, okay?
Same here, Paul. I thought Colorado was untouchable this year.
I just think Nathan McKinnon is like the absolute best. So,
Me too.
and nobody's even remotely close to him.
The only thing, guys, with I don't like Grubauer. I don't think he's a number.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's legitimate
Yeah,
number
it's fair.
one. In my eyes, I just don't see it. I think he's a very
Mhm.
good goaltender. I
Mhm.
just you maybe put Leonard on or Fleury on Colorado.
Oh,
and
forget
it's a
it then.
difference.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
He
Yeah.
really struggled at the end. You said that earlier, and I was like hoping that he played well to prove you wrong because I really don't like it when you're right.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah,
Me?
because you were telling me like from the start, Grubauer's garbage. But like, man, the last couple of games, his save percentage was like 880, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had some weird,
Yeah.
like that Carlson fan shot went
Yeah.
in. Like,
But
I mean-
they also found that, again, if you look at his cross crease east-west movement, no good.
no,
No
not
good.
good at all.
No
Vegas really adjusted to his game because the
Yes.
first two games Vegas was all over them, and he was the reason why Colorado was up 2-0.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Those first two games he was solid.
Yeah.
Vegas
Game two, he was
adjusted.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vegas
Yeah.
adjusted, and then whatever,
They
right?
figured him
The
out,
rest
though.
is history. Yeah,
Adjustments.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Right.
All
Good
right.
coaching.
Yeah.
See, that's
So, Julian.
yeah. I mean, like, look, same with Paul. Like, enough's enough. Okay, with the fucking Habs, enough. Like it's like seriously enough. Like they should not be here. They shouldn't even made the friggin' playoffs. Okay, and
Yeah.
I think like those teams just keep getting lucky and lucky. Like what, you're gonna go 4 rounds and keep getting lucky against the teams you play. I just think Vegas. Someone said like earlier they play a tight game like the Islanders. They collapse in their own zone. They're hard on the forecheck. They can score like any other team. They finished third highest in the league this year in scoring. The amazing coach. Like people were crying wolf when they fired Gallant. Now
Yeah.
bringing in Gobert, and it's like what those guys doing with the. Actually, that was related to Fleury with the sword and DeBear, but like,
Yeah.
people were pissed, right? Like, it's just like, and even I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would you fire this guy? Now you see it, right? Like, you see how good of a coach he is. So I just think all of that together, I think it's just gonna be too much for the Habs to master. So I honestly, everyone's saying 5. I'd probably say Vegas in 4. I think it's gonna be a sweep.
Wow.
This is the biggest team that Montreal is going to play against, and I think
Right.
that's going to be an issue, man.
Like,
Because these
there's
guys are heavy. These guys are
They're
heavy.
heavy.
One
And the
guy
fans too. Like they're heavy.
One guy I love though on Vegas, and nobody ever talks about him. If you're a hockey fan, you know who I'm talking about. But this guy, Alex Tuch, man, he is a truck.
And
He is a
wind, eh?
beauty
of
of
the wind, buddy.
beauty, and he has a
Good boy.
nice touch to him. Beauty of a player.
Mhm.
They're getting contributions from their. We've talked about it all show. Their bottom 6 contribute. You got guys like Ryan Reeves, Brown, Kolzar, this rookie 55 that's come up.
White Cloud, 2
White
games.
Cloud.
White Cloud,
Where do you
right?
come
2
from?
goals
Yeah.
in against the Wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something now. It just slipped my mind. What was I gonna say? The one thing about Montreal, though, you got to give like a ton of respect to them.
Yeah.
They've
Sure.
all of them have committed to playing a certain way because the coach probably knows they're not very good and they're not going to outskill anybody. But this is the way we got to play to win, and everybody's done it. So like, let's ride Carey Price to the land of milk and honey, but we all need to commit to this, and it's worked. But they have no business being there.
Yeah.
Peeps, I've seen 4 different popes waiting for the Leafs to win.
Good point, Paul. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are Habs fans had 0 expectations going into these playoffs.
Of course.
From the beginning, 0-0, right?
But Alfie,
Yeah.
when you get a little bit of success with those teams, it's contagious, man. And then you buy in, and then
Well, you get
just
guys leading like
that's right.
guys like Corey Perry and Stahl, and you get these
Yeah.
guys, and like they bring like Nick said, they adjusted against in that Leaf series. They brought in Caulfield, Kotkaniemi, They
Yeah.
brought they changed the series, right? Those older guys, right?
100%.
And like I said, you got to give them respect. Like as much as there's a lot of people that aren't Habs fans, you got to give them respect.
Listen, they swept the Jets. Okay, they actually swept the Jets. I don't care if Scheifele's in the lineup or not. right?
Yeah, come on.
They went in there and they played the hard way and they played the right way and they won. And Price played on his head. I don't believe in Hellebuck. I think he's a really overrated goalie, but that's another time, another story. But I'm going with Vegas, guys. I'm saying Vegas in 6. I picked Vegas from the first show we had to win the cup, so I'm
But you
going
think
with
they're going to win
Vegas.
2 games? You think the Habs are going to win 2 games against
I
these
think
guys?
I think they'll win 2 games. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Who was it? I think it was Dave Poulin was saying on a radio show. I can't remember who he's being interviewed by, but he played against the Habs, I guess, in his career, and he was saying the '93 and '86 when they won the cups those years.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. I actually have a picture of that. Thought you
Oh,
brought
do
that
you?
up. Look at this. Look at this picture. Hold on. I'm a Flyers.
There you go.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's Dave Poulin.
And
Oh,
Larry
is that
Robinson.
him? Wow, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah,
Oh, wow. Yeah, and he was saying like those
Hey,
years, like the
what
Habs
the
had
odds of
no
that?
business winning the cup too. Like they're just that team that did terrible in the regular season, and here came the Habs in the playoffs, riding Patrick Roy,
man.
weaseling their way into the final, and somehow they won. What is it, like 11 overtime games they won in '93?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
could this be another scenario?
But
I fucking hope not.
their defensemen though are nothing to write home about, but they're really responsible, man. Like
Yeah, that's
they
true.
they really if there's nothing there, it's like they're just extremely responsible with the puck,
Mhm.
which is so critical. You know what I mean?
You sound like the guy from the Tim Hortons commercial, Shane Weber.
Shane
first
Weber.
First All-Star ballot.
Wasn't it
What's
for
in that coffee there, bud?
No, but they're really responsible, man.
Yeah.
They don't turn the puck over or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're top
those are-
4. They're top 4.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Paul, you said it all along. Maybe it's better to go with 6D that are no namers but they do have Petrie and Weber, but the rest of the guys contributing. We're seeing this in the playoffs again. This is 2 years in a row. The Islanders made it to the conference finals last year as well. We're starting to see a different trend here. So it'll be interesting to see how this game goes tonight. Guys, I'm just going to go around the horn. Any final thoughts, Julian, on what we're going to see, and any thoughts on Gerard Gallant just got hired today to the New York Rangers. So that's news out in the hockey world today. So that's news. So any final thoughts on playoffs, Leafs, anything you got?
Me?
Yeah, Julian. Yeah.
Yeah. Playoffs, I think we said it all with the Final Four. I just think in order for the league to make this, going back on what we talked about with, star players and selling the game, I feel like something's got to give, whether it's the reffing or allowing like a luxury tax on salary cap teams that go over the cap or something. I just feel like they gotta sell the game better and let their stars prevail somehow. That's
I
it.
agree. Or pull a Tampa Bay and have your guy hurt and then go 18 million over the
Sure.
cap in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
So they got that down packed.
Yeah.
Alfie, your thoughts?
Great point. I was just going to say that, Nick.
Yeah.
This Tampa Bay team, 18 million over the cap. I mean,
Yeah.
Dougie Hamilton complaining about this and that. Listen, everybody plays by the same rules. Everybody has the same, good for them. Okay,
Yeah,
Tampa Bay, good
exactly.
for them.
Smart. Good for them.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
Keith, Dubas in Toronto, they all try to pull this stuff. It just happened. Kucherov was out for a shortened season, and he said it the other day. Julian Brisebois. I got lucky. I got lucky. My top guy was out for the whole season. I got to add players even at the deadline, like 18 million over the cap. It'll be interesting to see. Going forward, will the league make these teams say, if you don't play a regular season game, you're not playing in the playoffs, right? So how does Tampa Bay put Kucherov on their roster, even if it's one game at the end of the season? They're over
That's
the
a
cap,
valid point. That's a valid point.
right? So
I like that.
Yeah.
the way I look at it now is like, okay, that's if you guys want to pull these, quote unquote, I'm playing by the rules. Okay,
Right.
sure you are. Are you playing fair? Probably not. Right? You're playing dirty in the sandbox is what you're doing. No, I mean you get these teams say, okay, listen, LTIR no problem, but whoever doesn't play, like we played like men's league, ball hockey and stuff like that. You got to play a certain amount of
Yeah,
games before you
for
can't
sure.
play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you're not there,
Yeah.
you're not really a part of the team, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was ready for game one, comes in the first series, 11 points, whatever he gets. It's ridiculous. Going forward, they got to do something. They got to do something.
Good point. Valid point there. So just out right now, Paul, I'm going to give you the King Clancy Trophy Award because Pekka Rinne just got it. He just was announced today. So tonight in the lounge, you are the King Clancy Award winner. Goes to Paul Santi. Paul, your thoughts, last thoughts of the night here?
This is the best time of year to watch hockey. So just watch the games and enjoy them because the games are played the absolute best way. Hopefully Vegas and one of the other two teams make it to the final. It's just going to be very interesting for me to watch if New York can win the way the game should be played and neutralize that peeper. And I'm super excited to watch it. I just think it's a beautiful thing. So
There you go, guys. All right. So thank you for coming on the lounge tonight. It's been great hockey talk. For the viewers out there, again, if you want to become a lounge member, hit that subscribe button below. Follow us on Instagram, The Hockey Lounge. We have an AHL Hall of Famer. He was once called by Ron McLean the Wayne Gretzky of the AHL on Wednesday night. Darren Hadar will be in the lounge on Wednesday night. Look forward to that. That's 9 p.m. on Wednesday. For everybody out there, stay safe, love hockey, and enjoy the playoffs. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks. Yeah.